Hi guys, N7ECV here with an episode of Talkin Shack. So this time around, I really want to address Bluetooth connection with the ICOM 705. Some options that I found have worked, and some options that I've wasted freaking money on. I'm not gonna lie about a few times. So anyway, hopefully you guys can avoid blowing the money like I did, and I'll get to showing you some Bluetooth options that have worked well for me with the ICOM 705. Thanks for joining me. Okay, first up, ICOM 705 as of right now with the current firmware supports HFP, HSP, SPP, and LE Bluetooth profiles. That being said, it does not support, that I've been able to find anyway, it does not support any options out there with the PTT profile with it. And I'll explain more as we go on. So first up is my BT89. I've had this for a few years. I've mocked it to the 7300, and when I got my 705 in, I literally, it was plug and play. I put this in pairing mode, connected it to the 705, and poof, it was there. I hit the transmit button on a dummy load and it keyed up. I didn't have to do anything to make this BT89 work. The BT89 is the same Bluetooth microphone that's now sold for QIT 2-meter mobiles. So it's got a little dongle and stuff with it. You don't need the dongle for the 705 at all. It connects directly to the 705 in Bluetooth pairing. Works fairly well. Has a decent transmit audio. Has really crappy receive. It's full of artifacts. If you're in a noisy environment, the noise doesn't translate well. It's very difficult to explain other than it's kind of crappy. Not the best receive audio, but functionality it does good. 30-foot range all around the yard. I can get out the shack, out this window out here, and go hang out in the backyard and still communicate with the 705 with this setup here. I can make it into the kitchen and still communicate with the 705. So the BT89 microphone or the like, it's a pretty simple setup. It'll say QIT across the top up here nowadays, but they all tend to say BT89 on the side or on the bottom there. It does have a non-standard charge port, which kind of sucks. It's a USB to like a 3.5 with a weird pin out on there. So if you lose your charge cable, you could be SOL. You got to be careful with that. But I'll show you what it looked like on the scope for SDR control and the iPad here, and hopefully a good representation of what the audio sounds like. These are all going to be on the settings I'm using for the ICOM, and I tend to run it fairly low. I've got my mic gain at 11%. And my compression at 3. So my compression is actually a little high for this test. But anyway, you'll get somewhat of an idea what the transmit's going to look like on the scope and sound like. And then hopefully I'll give you a good representation of the audio. So BT89 first, okay?
November 7 Echo Charlie Victor testing the BT89 Bluetooth microphone. Test 1, 2, 3. Hello radio. N7ECV testing.
All right, so there's the BT89. I use that. It's my workhorse. Kind of just, it's my microphone for the ICOM 705. I'll be honest, I've hardly ever used a hand mic, and I've gotten fairly better reports with the 89 than I have with the hand mic. Tracking down record audio is a pain in the butt sometimes, but we'll do what we can. Up next is the Soundcore Life Dots. Not sure, they're just little earbuds that I happen to own and happen to use on a fairly regular basis. But anyway, I tested these just on a whim to see if they would connect. They do connect. The next two options I'm going to talk about do have one kind of con to them. There's a delay in the push to talk at about millisecond, maybe two. So the sound core and the Bose both, you would activate push to talk the same way you would activate answering the phone, and it's just with a click, little bit of a delay. But anyhow, they work well. I do like these for crowded environments and when I'm trying to be a little more incognito, I guess, to where can't really tell behind my beard that I've got earbuds in. So those work well. So we'll give an example of what they look like on the scope and the SDR play, and maybe hopefully a good representation of the transmit audio. Check it out.
This is November 7 Echo Charlie Victor on the Soundcore Life Dot earbuds. Testing 1, 2, 3. N7 ECV. Test, test, test. Hello, radio.
Okay, so next up is the Bose headset. This is an old headset I've had for a while. I acquired it from a good buddy of mine, actually. But anyway, I've had these for a long time. They're really old and beat up. I don't even remember what model they are. But I figured, what the heck, this was the first headset I tried to connect to them. And sure enough, plug and play connected right up to the 705. Great receive audio. Decent transmit audio. The microphone on this one's rather hot. If you hit transmit and sit in my shack, I can hear somebody in the kitchen. So the gain on this microphone itself is rather high. But anyhow, that's half the reason why it's turned down on the radio. So we'll show you a representation of the audio here, at least transmit audio, and do the best on receive audio, at least for the one that sucks anyhow, so you can kind of hear the difference. There is a push to talk delay on this one too. You hit this little button here like you're answering the phone, and it just takes a millisecond there for it to kick in transmit and to release transmit on this and the Life Dot both. So you have that to kind of contend with, but other than that, a headset that's wireless is what can I say? It's fun to have in the shack. So anyhow, let's take a look at what the Bose looks like, and then we'll wrap things up here with a little bit of information.
This is November 7 Echo Charlie Victor testing the Bose headset on the ICOM 705. N7 ECV test 1, 2, 3. Hello radio N7 ECV.
Before we jump into specs on the stuff that worked, we'll talk about stuff that didn't work. The AnySecU, I don't have that one anymore. I returned it. It would connect, but no audio out, no transmit. It was one of the ones that had the same profiles, but also had the PTT profile. I really was hoping that one's going to work. It's got a really cool charger. Would have been a really neat setup there. But the AnySecU microphone does not work at this time with the ICOM 705. And I guess this is supposed to be two-way radio, tway radio, I don't know. Anyhow, this one did not function properly. So it connects to the 705. It has phenomenal receive audio. I wish this would work. But it, again, also has the PTT protocol to it, which in some ways, like on phones and things, are a separate push. I attempted to connect this one to my Anytone, and I failed at that too, so I'd probably have to look into it. This one, which should work with the Anytone if I really got into it. Anyhow, the AnySecU did not function at all. This works as a great speaker and in Vox mode. I could get this to work with the 705 in Vox. So if you're in a quiet environment, that might be doable. I did not do a test of the transmit audio on this at all because it's just not something I'm going to use. But there may be a project with the Raspberry Pi or something else that this might function with, so I'm keeping one of these around. Anyhow, don't go blowing your money on the two-way radios or tway radio, whatever the hell these are. And don't go blowing your money on the NESECUs. They don't connect with the 705 right now, and they're just not. I don't even think in the plans for the new firmware updates. So if you bugged ICOM about getting the PTT protocol in there, that'd be great. It'd really give us better options. But for right now, you've got the BT89 or the like of the models there. It looks like most Bose headsets will work, and the Soundcore LifeDots are like $20. So, and these work fairly well, and they look okay on this scope. Those are Bluetooth options at this point for the ICOM 705. I've gotten great reports with them, and I enjoy using them. Again, the BT89's just got crappy receive audio. I wish the BT89 sounded like this tway radio. This thing sounds phenomenal. It's like having a nice radio speaker next to you. But anyhow, things pan out the way they do.
Your fine name from Wyoming is very good thing. Can we tell? Find out a little bit of salt to it. So, WA7RLZ. No, WA6QNI. This is WA7RLZ. I got till the end of the year to try and get that right. Well,
so there you go, guys. I did the best I could to represent a little bit of the receive audio, and it actually didn't sound too bad. I probably should have stepped away a little bit and got some better artifacts in there. So the BT89 again is still my workhorse and kind of what I enjoy taking out of there. Like I said, it does have that non-standard charge cable. The volume up and down works sort of. They're kind of like you gotta hold these buttons down. They don't really respond very well, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to turn it on. Other than that, I know there was a comment about a Roger beep. There is none of that. I hope I was able to prove that way. I think that necessarily goes through the dongle, although you do hear it beep when you key it here, but that's letting you know you keyed the microphone. I'm not sure. Anyway, there is no Roger beep going across the air with the BT89. The two-way radio, great little microphone, speaker mic, works on Vox. Great receive, no real idea about the transmit audio. I didn't test it, probably could have, but I didn't. But fun for future projects. We'll see how that comes along. The Bose and the LifeDot are there for what they are, man. When I'm at a crowded park and for POTA or any other environment where it might be noisy and I want to hear well, even just sitting anywhere in on a parking lot somewhere sometimes, I'll use the headsets. They do have the push-to-talk delay. The Bose has a non-common auxiliary cable, which blew my mind. That kind of sucked because I would use that for another application. But anyhow, they work good. I would say you'd have to adjust your mic gain quite a bit to make those ones, any of these, really function the way your audio or people might be used to your audio sounding. But microphones are fun to play with, and Bluetooth options are great to have around the shack. I can do stuff around the shack, and I can still respond to somebody with the Bluetooth options. And it doesn't have to be some crazy high-priced setup out there. Those LifeDots were like $20. But thanks for joining me, guys. We're talking shack here with N7 ECV the best we can anyway. And catch us for the next one. I'm going to try and prove to you why I added Bluetooth to the ICOM 705. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for joining me. We're talking shack here at N7 ECV QRP Live. See you around.